Hello everyone, Sean Plays here, and we are fixing the problem with the controller not working for accessing and configuring the on-screen display on the N64 Digital. So I've already started taking it apart, and I have a new flex ribbon cable. I think I know what the problem is from last time. It probably won't take too terribly long to address, but we'll take a moment to get it disassembled. And sorry, of course, for some reason it's decided not to show my chat. There we go. Okay. And I also just messed up my screen there. I mean, you know, it's amateur hour. It's also a much earlier stream than usual. And that's because I was able to finally get away right after dinner to do something like this while my kids go and play without me or whatever. I just figured I'd get this done. I had a free moment. And hopefully this won't take too long, like I said. I just wish it didn't take so long to disassemble. So many screws. But we're getting there. This is also why I kind of started ahead of my stream starting. I've disassembled and reassembled these N64s so much I could practically do this in my sleep, I think. But we'll see. Alright, 6 screws left. 6 screws left, and then we have the real fun where we try to get a flex ribbon cable off without breaking anything. Alright, last screw. I'm just finished moving all this stuff out of the way. go. Shields off. Bottom shield is off. Ooh, let's not drop anything. There we go. And it's all on the ground now. I have a pretty darn good idea what went wrong last time. Oh, I didn't wet my sponge. Shame on me. I'm gonna want this sponge wet. That should do it. Alright. I'll be able to show you on the microscope what I believe the problem is. It's pretty obvious actually once I got the new flex ribbon cable, and it's probably my fault even. And that's okay. Because this isn't like I was doing the work for someone else, just doing it for myself. My mistake, my problem, my additional stream. Let's boost this. So, I'm going to start off here by desoldering the power connection right there. Boom. We don't need to remove all the solder for that because we're going to have to put another power connection in. And then we're going to take these wires off one at a time. Alright, well, that's the easy part. Now for the next part, we're going to move over to here. So there's not a lot of solder there. But even so, I still want to come in with some desoldering wick and just get as much of that solder off as I can without hurting anything, so that it's easy to remove this, or easier to remove this. Okay. So now I'm just going to very carefully lift this up while I am applying heat. I'm trying to just figure out the best angle to attack this from, but I think we'll be okay from here. So this ribbon cable is going to go away. We're just going to take this fairly slow. This ribbon cable is going in the trash, unfortunately, when it's done. But not before I show you what I did wrong, what I broke. We have removed the ribbon cable. What, Yui? Yui. Yui, I'm on camera right now. You guys aren't allowed on camera. Leave the camera area, and I will answer your question. Sorry, everyone. Everyone, sorry about that, but my kids know they're not allowed on camera, and they're supposed to leave. They're not, and they're supposed to leave when they're told that. So anyway, it's fine. So now that this flex cable is removed, I'll show you what I messed up. I apparently at some point was not paying close enough attention. So this here is the old flex cable. This here is the new flex cable. And if you look right there, there's a super tiny resistor that I knocked off at some point, and that is why the controller connection wasn't connected. And I have no idea where that resistor went. It is so very, very tiny that I completely didn't notice. I should have noticed it, but I didn't. And it is also so very, very tiny, it is very, very gone. And that's okay. We're just gonna not screw that up again. So I'm just gonna apply some flux and some solder to some places on the ribbon cable here on the desk. In preparation for soldering this, I'm gonna set that jumper, 'cause we do have that one jumper we have to set. My other tube of solder go? Oh well. There it is. I want this one. So, sorry, I'm not doing this on the microscope because it's plastic. I just want to get this part done real quick. This time without messing up the resistor, hopefully. Okay, jumper is set. So now we've got a little bit of solder. So you can see we've got solder on the jumper. We got a little bit of solder on our spots where we're going to be resoldering, and just for sanity purposes, I'm going to double check, but we should have that resistor should still be in place this time. So I can test that by applying a probe to the side. And it's resisting. And so it won't beep because it's resisting. Whereas if I touch this to the resistor, I could probably get a beep from it. Yep, there we go. Yeah. So we should be good this time. Now I got a little bit more to do here. I gotta apply some more flux to the power connection, and then I'm gonna add some solder to that part, just make it a little bit easier. And then I will apply. Apologies. Okay. Then I will apply some solder to the connection. Okay. I'm gonna apply some flux and then some solder to the part where the connection connects to the GPU. At least I think it's the GPU. Close enough. Okay. There we go. So the pre-work is done. Now for the hard part, where we try to mess this up again. Just kidding. Of course, we're not trying to mess it up. But you knew that. My jokes are bad. And you knew that too. And yet, you're still here. Okay. So, double checking our instructions. I believe I had to be aligned with pin 6. I'm just double checking to make sure that that is indeed the correct thing to be lined up with. Okay, yep, pin 6. Sorry. I think it's still pin 6, but I was actually looking at the Ultra HDMI instructions. Yep, pin 6. So, get this party started. So as usual, some Captain tape. Help us keep things lined up after we get lined up, and also help protect those resistors. Since the struggle is real with the resistors. You just cannot let them get knocked off, or you have what happened last time sort of happen. And I know there's people out there who have gotten those resistors back in the right place. I don't believe I am necessarily one of those people who can do that. So that's completely okay in my mind. That first off, I'm not sure I could accomplish that. Second off, even if I can, that resistor is gone. I know not where it went. The Captain tape did not stick. Alignment looks pretty good. Not quite as good as I want. After all, this is an N64, not a Dreamcast. I want perfect. Sorta kidding. I do want it perfect. I wanted it perfect on the Dreamcast, too. That looks good. There we go. Okay, that still looks good there, so that's good. Let's make sure that this looks good up here. Okay, that looks like a bridge, but that's okay. Okay, other than the obvious bridge, that's looking good. Just gonna paint some happy little solder in. You know, what I didn't do, shame on me, I did not apply more flux. Shame, shame, shame. That's part of why I have a bridge there. That is easy to fix, though. But we still looked lined up. So we should still be all good. definite bridges there still. I'm pretty sure I have a bunch of bridges, but that's okay. We're going to apply a little bit more flux. Drag those over. They'll go away eventually. Still have one bridge for sure. Very close though now. I don't see bridges, but I'm also not certain that I like how good those joints look either, which is concerning. It's fine. I work on all that effort on the bridges. It honestly looks like I need a little bit more solder on there. Just the tiniest bit though. I'm gonna end up with more bridges and rinse and repeat, aren't I? Okay. I'm not certain I'm lacking bridges, but but that is looking much better on those solder joints. So let's clean it up. Let's test continuity, And then we can get the wires in place. Okay. Okay, so if we don't have any bridges, we're done. Of course, when I say we're done, I mean if we don't have any bridges, we're done with this one little part. Okay. Yeah, we're okay. I'd like to check a little bit beyond just in case I nicked anything with solder, but this is looking good. So that means that we are going back to our instructions. We're just going to make sure we've got all of these in the right places. So we've got RC is blue, and reset is red, and controller is green. So we'll hook those on real quick. These aren't that exciting on the microscope, but that's okay. We're still going to do it. This time without knocking that resistor off, because who knows when I did that. I think I did it before I even put this cable in place last time, but bad news when you knock off things like that. And again, okay. I actually feel like I want more solder on that one. That should hold. Cleaning the flux off should be a decent enough test to make sure these will hold. So those look good. One last look at this through the microscope. Looks pretty good, but I think it's good. Find out here in a bit. We're almost to the testing stage. What a ride this has been. Because we've already got our 3 wires in place, and now we're gonna bend this a bit and take this on under. Sorry, the flex ribbon, the flex is just getting right in the way of that. Gonna boost the temperature, like sucking a lot of heat from it. I don't feel like that's in very good. I'm gonna turn it, do a little bit better job of it from a better angle. That's better. Sorry, move from the magnifying scope there, but yeah, much better. Okay, so everything's soldered back in place now. So now we move on to put the soldering iron to sleep. Bring out our N64 shell. So we go on to the test phase again now, because everything's in place. We already got everything else done. That pin is lifted. everything's soldered back in place now. So this goes like so. And then it goes like so. Okay, so our flex connection cable, our ribbon, flex, whatever is in place. We're not going to plug that in quite yet. We're going to plug in this. We're going to plug in a cartridge. Cartridge no one cares too much about. As usual, we're going to plug in a controller. And then let me just double check the exact testing instructions. So I figure out where my mouse went. I'm not working with a lot of space on the workbench right now. My mouse has disappeared. I'm not even kidding. My mouse has seemingly disappeared. Oh. That would do it. Okay. Got my mouse back. Somehow I landed something on the remote for my USB switch, so that didn't help. Okay, so we're checking. Okay, so we've inserted the game cart, the mini HDMI cable, the jumper pack, and controller. And we have not put in the power supply yet, and we're checking for shorts between 3 volt and ground. Doing that real quick. It's interesting when you first do it because I think it pulls energy from that capacitor and it acts like a short at first, but then it's actually fine. Okay, now we're plugged in. We're going to verify that we get screen. Okay, I lied. We're not plugged in because I didn't plug in the in between all this, I unplugged the other end of the power supply. So I could plug in the Dreamcast most likely. Let's fix that. I was hoping to get this done in less than an hour. We're quite close. Okay, we have... Alright, we have that part. And we have this. Okay, great. So we are looking good now. I'm going to turn this off because you need to not run it for very long when you don't have the heatsink installed. The shielding / heat sinking. You know what I'm saying. So I'm going to install the RGB cable and do one more quick test, and then we will close it up and do another test. Then we are done, and it's successful once we're done this time. This is very exciting. I don't think that's going to be too in the way, but I'm going to take it out anyway. No, I'm not going to take it out because it's going to be really hard to get it back in. Yay. So the RGB is just kind of a pain like last time. All this effort for a feature I probably won't even ever use, but I want to make sure I installed it all. I want to make sure this is in correctly. All the way down. Okay. Looking good there. So, plugging HDMI back in. Gonna plug the game cartridge back in and the power back in. Do one more quick test. And then we'll shut it up and do another test. Okay, that's looking good. This is still working nice here. Oh, it looks so clear. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Just gotta make sure I don't mess these things up on my own. That resistor, knocking off that resistor cost me basically 25 bucks plus time, because that was how much it cost to get another ribbon cable, and it's not fair to blame it on Pixel FX code, because like I said, now that I have the new ribbon cable, I can see what's wrong, and I'm like 99.99999% certain it was me. We might as well just call it. It was definitely me. Wasn't them. Not surprised, honestly. But I actually feel a little bit better knowing it was me, because at least I know that. At least I'm now, when it first happened, I was a little bit worried that I had been sent a bad flex cable, and I don't know if I really said that on the stream. I hope I hope I wasn't speculating too much on the last stream. I'd have to go back and watch to know. But I was worried that they had sent me a bad flex cable, and that is always something that you never want to see happen, but I am certain they did not. I am certain it was my fault. And that's sometimes just the way life goes. And it's okay, because we are now in a place where everything's working, and we're just putting it back together and making sure that we put it back together correctly and it's still working when we're done. That's a good outcome, even if it unfortunately took 2 tries. That will just be the way it is. Yeah, it's definitely fun when you now have done this so many times, you know where every screw goes. It does make it a lot faster, though. Very excited to be done. Unless a wire like popped off on me or something, but I don't think so. I think I got them all pretty good. Just gonna finish tying these screws up, put on the lid, tying down 6 more screws after that, after the lid's down. I got 2 screws left to tighten here. Then we'll do the 6 screws for the lid and be all ready for the final test. Screw. All right, we are complete there. One thing real quick. Yeah, that goes right in. Sorry, that piece of shielding just looked a little odd. I just wanted to be safe. Okay. Put the top on. Not crease that. Let's not damage another ribbon cable. Okay. Top is on. Grab our game bit. power, HDMI, jump pack, of course, Castlevania, controller, and let's put on a little cover here. Let's see if it's working. Okay, we're still good on this front. All right. Everything looks good on the self-test. I'll worry about that in a bit. I don't know if this TV will handle 1200p correctly. Looks like it does. Sorry for the stretch there, but I do know how to fix that. It's actually just a matter of going back to 1080p, and then it'll give a nice signal for everyone. Oops, I didn't mean to revert that. There we go. We're already on the latest firmware after doing that rescue attempt last stream. So this is looking great, and we have no weird artifacts around the screen. This particular game has a little bit of a black bar underneath. This is amazing how good the N64 looks with these mods applied. Yeah, let's just start this. I don't care. Just want to see some gameplay. Don't care about the story. Just wanted to make sure everything's still looking good. One final self-check. Everything looks good. Let's test this. That's interesting. Okay, so that reset worked. And now it's performing a full reset. So I think if I understand correctly, the first reset I did was just the same as pressing the reset button on the N64, and then this was a reset of the N64 Digital and the console. So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. It is now finished, and I'm going to call it here because I have other things I need to do today. So thanks for watching, and have a great night.